My fiance once looked at my 7-year-old daughter and said, "Lily is my daughter too. We just don't have the paperwork." That was the moment I fell in love with him. Not because he loved me, because he loved her. Or at least, I thought he did. 2 years later, his mother stood up during our engagement dinner, looked directly at Lily ... and told an entire room full of people that this celebration was for our kids, not my daughter, not the little girl sitting 3 feet away. And what hurt most wasn't what his mother said. It was what my fiance didn't say. 3 days later, I called off the wedding. I became a mother at 25. By the time Lily was 7, it had been just the two of us for most of her life. We had our routines: Friday movie nights, Saturday pancakes, bedtime stories. We weren't perfect, but we were happy. Then I met Ryan. For the first time in years, I allowed myself to imagine something more: a partner, a family, a future. Ryan seemed to understand exactly what that meant. He never treated Lily like an obstacle. He attended school plays, helped with homework, showed up at soccer games. When she lost her first tooth, he celebrated like she'd won an Olympic medal. And one evening, after helping her build a science project, he looked at me and smiled. "Lily is my daughter too. We just don't have the paperwork." I never forgot those words. Unfortunately, neither did Lily. Ryan's mother, Carol, was different. She was always polite, always smiling, always saying exactly the right thing. But something felt off. Looking back, the signs were there from the beginning. The first Christmas we spent together, Carol bought gifts for every child in the family. Every child except Lily. When I asked about it, she laughed awkwardly. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot. Ryan believed her. I wanted to believe her too. Then came Lily's 8th birthday party. Carol arrived carrying a card for me. Not for Lily. No birthday message, no gift, no acknowledgement, nothing. Again, Ryan said I was reading too much into it. And because I loved him, I ignored my instincts. That turned out to be a mistake. A few months later, Ryan proposed. Lily was actually the first person I told. She screamed so loudly the neighbors probably heard her. Then she wrapped her arms around me and asked, "Does this mean we'll officially be a family now?" I smiled. Yes, sweetheart. At the time, I believed it. The engagement dinner was held at a beautiful restaurant. Both families attended: parents, siblings, cousins, close friends. Nearly 30 people. Lily spent an hour getting ready. She wore her favorite blue dress, the one she called her princess dress. Just before we left, she looked up at me. "Do you think Grandma Carol likes me?" The question caught me off guard. I forced a smile. Of course she does, looking back. That's the lie I regret most. The evening started perfectly. People laughed. Stories were shared. Everyone seemed happy. For a moment, I thought maybe I'd been wrong about Carol all along. Then she stood up, tapped a spoon against her glass, and smiled. The room became quiet. I'd like to make a toast. People cheered. Ryan smiled. I smiled. Carol raised her glass. Then she looked directly at Ryan, then at me, and finally, at Lily. For one brief second, I thought she was about to welcome her into the family. Instead, she said, "This dinner is for our kids." The room went silent. Then she continued, "Ryan and Emily are finally beginning their future together." A few people nodded. Then Carol laughed softly. "And hopefully soon we'll have real grandchildren running around." My heart stopped. The words hung in the air. Real grandchildren. As if Lily wasn't sitting right there. As if she didn't exist. As if she wasn't a child. I looked at my daughter. The smile had vanished from her face. She stared down at her plate, confused, embarrassed, hurt, and suddenly I wasn't listening to Carol anymore. I was listening to the silence around her. Nobody challenged her. Nobody corrected her. Nobody objected. Most importantly, Ryan said nothing. I waited 1 second, 5 seconds, 10, nothing. He stared at his plate and kept eating. That silence hurt more than Carol's words. Because Carol wasn't marrying me, Ryan was. The rest of the evening felt unbearable. I couldn't focus. I couldn't smile. I couldn't stop watching Lily. The excitement she'd carried all week was gone. When dinner finally ended, she walked quietly beside me to the car. For once, she had nothing to say. That night, I tucked her into bed. She pulled the blanket up to her chin, then looked at me, "Mom." "Yes, sweetheart." Her voice was barely above a whisper. Am I not part of the family? I felt something break inside me. No, I sat beside her. You are my family. Tears filled my eyes. And nobody gets to decide otherwise, she nodded. But I could already see the doubt. The damage had been done. The next morning, I expected Ryan to call, to apologize, to explain, to say something. Instead, he acted like nothing had happened. Finally, I brought it up myself. Ryan sighed. Actually sighed. Mom didn't mean it that way. I stared at him. Then what way did she mean it? He rubbed his forehead. Emily, you're overreacting. I couldn't believe it. Your mother excluded my daughter in front of 30 people. That's not what happened. Then why did Lily come home asking if she belonged? Ryan looked away. And in that moment, everything became clear. He wasn't denying what happened. He was trying to convince me it wasn't important. Worse, he wanted me to ignore it. Just like I'd ignored every other warning sign. For 2 days, I thought about our future, birthdays, Christmas mornings, graduations, family vacations, every important moment in Lily's life. And every time, I pictured Ryan staying silent, the same way he'd stayed silent at that dinner. The answer became impossible to ignore. If he couldn't protect her now, he never would. 3 days later, I asked Ryan to meet me. He arrived smiling, probably expecting wedding plans. Instead, I placed my engagement ring on the table. His smile disappeared instantly. What is this? I took a deep breath. It's over. His eyes widened. You're ending our relationship because of one comment? I shook my head. No. Then I looked him directly in the eyes. I'm ending it because of your silence. For the first time, he looked genuinely shocked. I continued. Your mother humiliated a 7-year-old child. You watched it happen, and you said nothing. He tried to explain, tried to argue, tried to blame misunderstandings. But it was too late, because the moment that mattered had already passed, and he'd failed it. A few weeks later, Lily and I went out for ice cream. Just the two of us. We sat outside in the sunshine, talking, laughing, being ourselves. At one point, she looked at me and asked, "Everything's okay now, right?" I smiled. It is now, because losing a fiancé hurt. Canceling a wedding hurt. Starting over hurt. But none of those things hurt as much as watching my daughter wonder whether she belonged. Ryan lost a fiancé. Carol lost the wedding she wanted. But my daughter learned something important. She learned that the people who truly love you don't stay silent when you're being hurt. And every night when I tuck her into bed, she knows exactly where she belongs with me. And that's worth more than any marriage certificate in the world.